Okay, let's just test the sound. Cool. So today the plan is to continue with these expressions, just continue doing a few more from reference, and then I'm thinking about taking a realistic reference image and making it stylized. Maybe some other things as well. Okay. So I was looking back at these from yesterday, and it's like hindsight is 20/20, whatever they say. I do feel like some of these are a bit rough, but maybe I think it's more to do with the line weight. Like here, this one is line weight is a bit too thick, and then this one, the line weight's a bit too thin. Also, I've noticed like I noticed looking back why certain things look odd. Like here, for example, if I can find the reference for this. So for this one, it looks like the jaw is a bit too high and a bit too far back, and the ear is still also too high and too far back. So let's see if I can change this. And see if that makes a difference. So the ear, the top of the ear should always align with the bottom of the eye. And then bottom of the nose, bottom of the ear. However, we'll change the jaw first. So the jaw, I think, I'm not sure the exact approximation, but around the center of the head, I think. Let's try that. But when I'm doing these studies, it's like I'm not doing any construction. I'm just drawing what I see. So as a result, it's like it can get very janky with the proportions. But that's sort of part of the practice. I think the shape is looking a bit better, but the neck is also Okay, let's look at this closer. So the distance of the ear and the jaw is shorter from the looks of it. But only a bit shorter. So what I could try doing is changing that distance. And I guess if worse comes to worse, and maybe this is a better thing to do, is just start with the construction. Sometimes that works. So for this one, again, it's like I was looking at this and I was thinking, well, in my version the eyes are a bit further apart. But also the jaw and the chin is a bit too wide. It doesn't taper enough, so I'll try and add that in. And also, like, there's a small detail under the lip, like here, this, and then like a bit of line shading here, which sort of makes it look more like a lip. And also the wrinkle in the skin under the eyes makes a big difference to the expression. Looking at this, what I like about Pinterest is it kind of just gives you something new every time. So you can just really find a rabbit hole of new art and whatever, new styles. Like this is quite an interesting style. Or something like this is actually quite good. I'm gonna try something like this. So this is somebody has already done a stylized version of a reference. I've tried to do stuff like this in the past and it just it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So there's, I don't know. Okay, there are so many different ones. I don't know which ones to pick. We'll sort of work down the list, I think. So, okay, let's begin with a construction first. Sphere, and then I've got to kind of estimate. E would be about here. LSP, the freckle-faced artist, good morning. Good morning. Just doing some more expressions. So yeah, this time with the construction, I think it's a bit easier. Although I might have to do some changes. Like the top of the head is like usually more boxy. So how do I describe it? It's like usually if I do a construction, I'll draw a sphere or a circle. But usually the head isn't like that. It's like, it's more of a box. The top of the head is like this. Like that. And then the jaw sort of varies. But one thing I noticed about this style is that the way they've done the lips is different to... Actually, I don't think I've done it. I'll have to find an example, but... But I think there's just so much room for variability with faces and expressions. It's like you've got the actual design of the face, like what kind of style, but then you also have different expressions, different angles, different lighting. It's sort of endless. And it's like, just when you think you've seen it all, you'll come across another artist that just does it completely differently and still makes it work. So I'm gonna pay more attention to the eye. The other thing is like paying attention to things that I wouldn't usually think about trying to learn from, like the way that they do the hair, for example. Here they do it in a certain way still. I think I definitely prefer a pencil to this brush. It does feel like these lines are a bit too harsh. The other thing is like keeping track of proportions, so it's like this, I feel I've done the jaw too big. And the nose. That's the other thing, is the size and the distance of the eye. Okay, let's try and do this with a pencil. What I find is like one of the biggest things I realize is at every single part of a drawing or reference that I look at, your brain just wants to simplify, and to be able to draw it, you have to do the opposite. You have to like unsimplify what your brain is looking at and trying to simplify. For example, like the lip here, the lip just doesn't do this. It sort of does this and this. Or the jaw doesn't just go straight like that, it goes like that and that. Like it sort of curves inwards. There's probably more things that I have missed, like the eyebrow, for example, I feel is a bit too large. So then the next challenge would be trying to replicate the same style, replicate the same formula for another face. I really like this one, all of these ones. And you can kind of see like the way the artist has done the construction of the head. It's sort of like a extended sphere. I like how simple this one is. Like, the eyes are very expressive, the eyebrows are expressive. It's definitely cartoonish, but it would still work in a sort of realistic style, semi-realistic. Even as I do the construction, I feel like there's something I'm missing. It's like playing spot the difference over and over again. Okay, that's... I think it's the distance of the eyes. I think it's, yeah. I think I've made the head a bit too long. Let's try this. Yeah, the distance from with the eyes, the distance of the eyes from the nose is still too long. Again, I think, so I'll have to change that. There might be something else. Just wondering how like this artist made this eye. It feels like they've done it in a few strokes. So maybe about this distance looks about correct. And I think it is the same with the jaw maybe. So it tells me that my brain is trying to like stretch out the face so it's more visible instead of taking into account the foreshortening. Those lips, the way he's done the mouth is so satisfying. Another thing I've just noticed is even though the head is curved, it's only curved at the top, so it's like the side of the head is actually more straight really than curved, so it's less a sphere and more of like a cylinder with a sphere on top. So this is just like straight. Like that. And same with the other side of the head. Also the mouth, I think, is a bit wider on his. I know this eye is going to be a struggle. Okay, I'm going to try and look at, first of all, making sure the eyes are level still. And also, this eye is going to be larger. can see myself just like, okay. Okay, I'm already seeing something else that I've done, that I did before, which is, if I remove this, I can see now that the original construction of this I can see the mistake that I made with the construction, which was that even though it looks at first correct, it's not taking into account the angle of the face in terms of the angle and the proportion of the eyes and the mouth. So I'm not sure if I should redo this or draw over it. Let's see. Let's try another color. So the right side of the face is correct-ish. But the left side, hasn't been reduced enough. So all of this sort of comes in. Like that. I'm just going to erase this construction. There's still probably some more stuff that I'm missing. Like I can see like there's even more detail about the way he's attached the head. I'll just do this part first. But you can also see like in the reference, he makes this sphere here, just here. Or she, sorry. This has got to be the hardest part. I find it's like trying to understand this shape. Okay. Ugh, why is this so hard? I feel the other eye is still more squished. Should be more squished. Yeah, the left side should still be way more squished, and I just don't know how to do that. How to do that without... I just have to bring this side in more, I think. So it's like this mouth, for example, it just wraps around the nose just slightly, like this, and then the same with the other side of the face. It just wraps very tightly. So because it's very exaggerated, which is sort of why it looks so good. So then, again, it's like, so the nose is here. The nose is here. Whoops. And then this eye is like squished in. Yeah. Sort of looks like Megamind. I mean, it's meant to be the Joker, I think. And again, it's like I've done the bottom jaw, and I think the bottom jaw's a bit too large. there is still something missing, and I'm sort of like grasping at something. I know it's to do with perspective, something to do with perspective and proportion. Like the eyes, for example, are a bit too large. I just don't know what it is. I'm sort of struggling with the side of the face here, because this side sort of, if I just do that, it just doesn't work. This is sort of like, this is how it feels to learn something new. When it comes to drawing, it's like every small thing is a challenge. Every small step is like confusing. There's something wrong with the eyes, I know. Ah, maybe it's the eyebrow. It's not in line, not in perspective. It's the eyebrow, it's also just the shape of the eye. The way I've drawn it is just not circular enough. Like he does the tear duct, and then the rest of it's pretty circular. I'm always like, the way I look at it is I always look at the negative spaces between each shape and whatever, but if one proportion is wrong, then it has a knock-on effect. Ah, that's the other thing. The nose is too wide. The basic anatomy of faces still applies, and I somehow keep forgetting it. It's like I need a checklist. I need a checklist and just memorize it. So the edge of the nose has to really be aligned with the inner part of the eye. The mouth is a bit too wide now, because the end of the mouth is at the edge of the eye. In this, usually it's the center of the eye, but this rule has been broken. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. Ah, here's another thing. This is by far the hardest one. I know this is painful to watch. That mouth, the mouth is just too... It should be like out here, but yeah, that would work. Mouth, nose. I'm going to use a small pen. That works. Yeah, I'm looking at more and I can see that the eye is like, so it's like, the eye line is like this. I'm gonna try another one of these. I feel like I think the reason why it's so hard for me is because it's like I'm fighting the part of me that's like trying to be very like realistic and stiff. It doesn't understand how to break the rules. Well, that's at least part of the reason. There's like the giant eyebrow here. I think another reason is it is to do with perspective. It's to do with perspective, and I could be wrong actually, it's hard to tell. Let's try this one on the bottom right. So I'm gonna do a bit more planning. At least try to do a bit more planning. So head with the sphere, and so the bottom of the sphere is sort of like the cheekbones. So I'll sort of put in the eye sockets. And the jaw is separate. The jaw might be down here-ish. And the nose is just going to be here, I think. And then the mouth, top of the mouth. Bottom. So interestingly, simplify the jaw a bit. E is going to come up. Hairline. Now we add in, I'm going to try adding the detail. The nose, so now there's going to be exaggeration slightly. Eyebrow. So already the right side of the face is coming in a lot more, so I've got to make sure to completely bring that in. Okay, that was a that's the eye and the eye socket. But already I'm noticing that I'm straying from the construction and the reference, but mostly the construction. The reason why is because this jaw is further in, much further in. I actually don't know a way of estimating that. I think I just put the ear a bit too far back. So the jaw should actually be around here-ish, and then the nose. Looking at the line work and the reference with a bit more detail, I can kind of see that the cheek kind of swoops in. I realize how much I'm simplifying instead of like, so it's like this part is straight, this part swoops in, this part is straight. This part is also straight. That to me actually looks pretty alright. And the ear kind of just sits behind. Even like the way this person does the hair is like da-da. And then like for the rest, he sort of has these lines in here, a movement. Oh, that's another thing I slightly missed, which is there's a slight curvature he adds. I keep saying he, I don't know. They add. funny is that what's funny is that this person, these sketches look very sort of, I assume that they were done really fast, like on the fly. I could be wrong. It's just funny that I'm spending hours just doing a few of these. Okay. The jaw, the chin is a bit too far out. Looking at the overall expression, I can see that it feels like there's less. I think it's to do with the eyes. Let's see. Part of it is also I'm using quite bad brushes, I feel. It's hard to get the details. There is sort of a debuff with digital art. It's hard to be precise. Okay, this mouth is, something is off. Eyes there. The way they've done, I'm looking at like the way the artist has done the strokes, and it's like they've just done a single line here, and then they've done like another one like this, and that seems to work. I think that's good enough for me. Actually no. I can see that this is still too far out. So I'm just gonna try and slide that. Yeah. And I think that works. I think that works. construction can just erase construction. I'm pretty happy with that. There are obviously like other things that I've missed, I can see. Eyes are again like still too far from the nose. And same with the jaw. The jaws are still a bit too elongated. But overall, I think it works. Oh, that's another thing. It's like they've pushed that. It's like there's so many like subtle things they've done. So the more I look at it, the more I can see new things. Spent 90 minutes doing 4 expressions. That has got to be a record. Yeah. This one by far I struggle with the most. It's just the angles. The angles and the perspective. I wonder if I can find more. I really like this style, which is the funny part. It's like the style that I like the most, I'm struggling with the most as well. So I'll probably try and find more like that if I can. So this one. I think I do one of these, this one. I might do one more expression, I think. Yeah, I can also feel like I've done yeah, I can tell like I've done the shape a bit off, or a bit off, very off. So it should just come in like a bit more like a, and also it should be in perspective. So it's like the other thing I see is the way they've done the teeth is the way they've done the teeth is like pointed, not pointed, but it's not. It's one of those things that I mentioned before about simplifying. I don't know how to explain that, but the curve is not a constant curve. It's not like this, but it's like this. Like it's like it curves, and then it curves a bit more. And that's the thing that I'm missing. And the way they do that is, the way they make that shape also depends on the stroke. So like if you have a certain way of making a line with your pen, then you've already done it. You've already made the line. Like if you just do this, then you've already sort of made the simplification without even realizing it, which is what I did. Also, the expression that I've done doesn't seem to look very angry. I think it's because of the distance of the eyebrow to the eye. Yes, that looks way more angry. Eyebrows much closer. Even I know it's like the nose sort of is forward. I don't know how to even explain that. It's like the eyes, it feels like the top of the face is being pushed over the bottom of the face. Yeah, it's definitely to do with the top of the mouth. There's another thing. That is strange how that works. So he's I don't know if I can explain that. So yeah, it's the way he's done, like, so the way the mouth curves, it's like, instead of being like this for the bottom of the mouth, the teeth, it's more like, instead of like this, it's like this, this. I can't even do it in one sweep. But there's just like, there's a bit of flattening there, which I guess it makes sense because of the perspective of the teeth and the chin. Or maybe it's not even that, maybe it's just the style. I don't really know why certain things work. I've got to do more expressions like this, I think. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Yeah, I'll definitely practice some more of these expressions, particularly ones that are just not kind of like straight. Ones that are angular like this and very expressive. I think they are definitely the most challenging. And yeah. So thank you for watching.